Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna here. Basically, we are discussing one other topic, that is city creation. In this, we are going to discuss about this file basically. One of the person told that political people, news channel group, Bollywood group, these all are one group basically. Whatever they basically do, whatever things basically happen in this world basically, without their permission basically, nothing basically happens. In this basically, they use is companies basically, and they basically uses the local area corporator MLAs. They basically use this people in this basically. The police also support this group basically. Why? Because these all are one family basically, that is Hitler family. TCS group, Patni group, these all are one family basically, one group basically. And there is basically no person to give answer to these people basically. Why? Because इनके बाप का है हिंदुस्तान. Narendra Modi, he is also basically from Hitler family basically. So there is nobody basically who can give answer to these people basically. Why? Because these people have created Hindustan. So one of the person told that if you want to give some answer to these people, then basically then you have to finish the entire Hindustan. So that is ongoing. One of the person told that basically. In this basically one of the person told that Pakistan basically we can use. No, Pakistan basically you can't use because Hitler के बाप का है Pakistan. Pakistan also basically runs according to the Hitler Raj basically. Then China basically we can no, China is also basically created by Hitler only. So what is the give? What is the way to give the answer basically? So one of the person told that basically Hitler is basically controlled by the Sri Krishna group basically. So if you want to give the answer to Hitler group, you have to give something basically to the Sri Krishna group basically. You have to give answer to Sri Krishna. That is the Sri Krishna Bhagwan God basically. And God basically, who can basically give answer to the God basically? That is basically the question. One of the person basically asked the thing basically. Then one of the person told that Sri Krishna God basically, who can give the answer to Sri Krishna Bhagwan basically. Then one of the person told that in universe basically lots of people are basically there. They can basically give the answer to Sri Krishna Bhagwan God basically. So one of the person told that who are basically controlling TCS. This entire group is one basically. That is Brahma Kumari group. That is the Sindhi group. Then TCS group. That is also one family. They are basically, he is also connected with the Hitler group. Then Patni group is there. This is also basically connected with this Hitler group basically. Then one of the person told that each and every banks basically are because SBI bank is itself basically controlled by the Hitler group. So all banks basically by default are controlled by the Hitler group basically. So this is basically Dadagiri of Hitler basically. So one of the person told that this is actually literally Dadagiri of Hitler. So there is no thing basically who can give the answer. So one of the person told that on last day Hitler calculation is also going to happen. On last day of world, Hitler calculation is also going to happen. And in this, Sri Krishna God is also going to be taken into picture basically. That is the dot basically. That is the dot. In dot basically, Sri Krishna group basically are creating their planets. So on last day, this is also going to calculate due to Hitler group basically. Reason Hitler group has basically controlled of entire TCS. Entire TCS means what basically? Entire TCS means entire software company basically. So entire TCS means entire software company, they have the control basically. And they basically can do anything basically. They can hijack your laptop. They basically can hijack what you are doing. Just now basically I have written something basically they can also hijack that and basically they can see. In this basically the news channel basically supports their group basically. One of the person told the entire news channel basically is where basically they are at the Gorwa area basically. They are sorry not at the Gorwa area. They are at the Gotri area basically in Vadodara city. Entire news channel basically. But they are given the address as a Noida basically. Somebody has given as an address of Delhi basically. Somebody has given the address as a Bangalore basically. But real telecast basically happens from Vadodara city of the news channel. So one of the person told that Vadodara, they feel that basically Vadodara is the most safest place basically. From there basically entire news basically are telecast. So on last day Vadodara is also going to be calculated. because last news basically which is going to display in front of the Hindustan, that will be this group. So that calculation must happen basically on last day of world. So what would one of the person told that what would be that news basically they are going to display? Then one of the person told that इनको तो घर में घुसने की आदत है. So each and every house news basically they might be displaying. For example, assume that some group basically are jacking like this basically. They are basically seeing from Durbin basically, and they are telling that yeah ये कर रहा है, he's doing that. So what would be that last basically? They might be telling to through SMS basically. That broadcast basically channel basically which is connected with the satellite basically. On last day, this is going to be the chain basically. This is going to be a chain. So one of the personality in this police group are also connected basically because police group has given the permission basically. So that police group are also going to be calculated on last day of world. So entire one chain basically is that basically that is Hitler group basically which is connected with Sri Krishna God basically. That entire God group na basically is going to be calculated. In this unnecessary Sri Krishna God basically came into picture basically because he has created Hitler basically. He has created Hitler, that's why basically he also came into picture basically. Unnecessary basically he came into picture because he has created it, Hitler and his group, that is the Brahma Kumari group, Tata group. This everything basically is created by Hitler group only basically, and Hitler is created by Sri Krishna group basically. So unnecessary Sri Krishna, and one of the person told that HIV/AIDS is also basically the produce of Sri Krishna God only basically. So you can just imagine basically because everything is done, that's why basically. So on last day, everything is going to calculate. On last day of world, everything is going to be calculated. So one of the person told that. So see basically how this balance sheet is going to be calculated. So one of the person told that this balance sheet comes like that. I will take one example basically. I will take my example only basically. That would be better. Here I had taken the example of myself basically. Income of Sunil R. Nair and expense of Sunil R. Nair. So on last day of the world basically, what would be the income of Sunil R. Nair and who would be giving that income and that place basically where from the income basically and the entire group basically they are going to give the income and last expense basically in this world basically going to happen. Here basically I just take an example of myself basically. So whole world basically has nowadays converted to digital world. So this would be very easy basically. This would be very easy basically. So unnecessary basically Sri Krishna God came into picture basically. And this everything is done, that's why basically. And HIV/AIDS basically was given by Sri Krishna God. And here basically I had taken the example of myself. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this topic.